Welcome back to another episode of Boxing Talk with Brian Mendoza. Brian, ready for the weekend?
Yeah, big fights coming
up.
up.
Yeah, big fights.
Yeah.
You know, these are stacked cards, right? But to start, let's go ahead and touch on David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde. That's the headliner.
Yeah.
First of all, do these styles match up?
I think they match up great. It's going to be, the old cliche, they can expect a lot of fireworks for this fight. It's going to be a very action-packed fight for sure. I think the way that their styles just mash up, they both throw bombs. Benavidez is a little more about the speed and combinations, the volume and everything, but he tries to get his guy out of there, and then same thing with Yarde. So it's going to be really exciting in that way.
Is Benavidez stepping up from Morrell, his last fight with David Morrell earlier in the year?
In terms of experience, yes, because Yarde has been in there, guys like
big boys
at that at that level. He's been at that higher level more.
175.
Yeah, Morrell hasn't had too many fights in that weight class, and just at the top level in general. Since he's been a pro, he only had around 10 fights, I think it was. So that experience is going to play a big factor. Yarde's going to be a little more calm in there. He's going to know the environment a little more. So that's going to make a difference, and I think that. And as far as a step up, I'd say it's a different type of challenge as far as ring IQ, because I believe Morrell has a lot more ring IQ than Yarde, but Yarde he's going to have more of that grit and that solid 175 frame that he's carrying around. So it's challenging in its own different ways.
So, I mean, David Benavidez, knockout king, right? Not the last two fights.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we know we're coming into a bigger weight. You think Yarde's going to feel his power?
I think it'll be more about the physical and mental pressure that Benavidez brings. The volume that he just likes to let those hands go, and that's what it could be more about. And I think his power is still there enough to respect him. He's not someone you're just going to walk past and not worry about getting hit. So it's more. I think Benavidez will be more looking to break him down and maybe get a late stoppage, break him down late like that and really take over in the second half of the fight. But early on, I think Yarde's going to be a very durable and he's definitely going to be there looking to get his victory.
Well, typically David Benavidez is a slow starter, right? Usually it seems like he takes those first couple rounds off.
Yeah.
Right? So back to Yarde. So Yarde, he two big losses, but these were big names, right? What did he mention in an interview the other day? Third's the charm,
right?
So Beterbiev, Kovalov, right? These are two big names, two big bangers. I mean, what do you think he learned from those two fights, those two losses, that he can apply to this upcoming fight?
That's a lot of ring experience with guys that have really been at that top level. World champions that have had their own large amounts of experience and everything, and just been around the game. So that's something you soak up, and it shows in a lot of different ways. Just like your ring generalship, the ring IQ keeps boosting, and you learn to stay calm. When things might be going left a little bit. Yes. So it's gonna be more just the experience that he's been there before. He's been in this type of situation, and he's looking to finally break through. So that could be his motivation in this fight, where he's looking to finally establish himself as a top name, not just a contender. Just almost at the top level. He's trying to really break through and take over the division.
Yeah. So if Yarde can figure out Benavidez' timing early, right, early in the fight, I mean, is there a chance for an upset?
Definitely. Like you just said, Benavidez hasn't been getting these big knockouts at 175 just yet. He's breaking his opponents down and stuff, but it's not the same. Now he's fighting. He's in there with bigger boys now, so it's making a difference. And I feel like early on, Yarde he can definitely pull off an upset, and he's gonna have to start strong too to get those early rounds in the bag, and then as the fight gets really rougher and tougher down the stretch, still be able to bag a few rounds here and there, and he could definitely walk away with that. But it's a tall task.
I'm going on to social media and listening to different boxing analysts. They're saying an upset. I mean, I've been hearing upset.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, is this? I mean, really, can he upset Benavidez? I mean, so overall, what's your prediction? What would you and what round do you think is going to happen, and if it is going to be a knockout?
I'm not sure about a knockout. I do think it's going to be a war. Very action-packed, until the end. If there is a stoppage, I see, maybe something late, maybe from Benavidez if he can pull it off. But or even Yarde, because I said like he's landing those bombs and everything.
Yes.
I'll still pick Benavidez to maybe a decision victory.
He's not gonna knock him out.
I don't think so. You know, Yarde, although you know his flaws in his fights have been that he's faded late. Benavidez is not someone you want to fade late against. So that's where it's kind of hard for me to pick. But I'll just pick Benavidez as a winner in this. Maybe a knockout. If it is, it's gonna be late.
Well, whatever happens, it's going to be a great fight, so we're looking forward to it. That happens this weekend in Saudi Arabia. You're going to definitely want to watch that one. Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes, right? That's one of the fights on the undercard. I'm excited about that one. Actually, I'm excited about every fight on the card.
Yeah.
But this one is especially. We're talking about two guys that typically come forward. Both have a high KO record. Right, these guys throw. I mean, are we looking at a slugfest?
I don't know about a slugfest. I think Mason will be looking to be a little more technical with it. He does like to walk his opponents down and walk forward and establish his presence in the fights. But I don't know about a slugfest because Noakes, I think his whole game plan is going to be to land that big shot. He's got tons of knockouts and he's a strong fighter. But I see kind of flaws where he'll open up a little too much, and Mason is not someone that you can get too wide with your shots. He's gonna come straight down the pipe, and he's too sharp and too technical for that. So Mason, I think, will be looking for more for the right angles and stuff, and just throwing in between Noakes shots. And it's still gonna be a very exciting fight, because Mason still goes for it, maybe even to his detriment a little bit sometimes, but it makes for exciting fights. And I think Noakes is kind of. He's going to be hoping for a slugfest. So
what can in that case? So what can Mason do to control Noakes' power?
Same thing he always does. As far as Noakes, I didn't see like a lot of volume, so I don't think that's something Mason's going to have to worry about. It's just those big swinging shots because Noakes is definitely coming to take his head off. But Mason, same thing he always does. Stay tight, stay composed, look for those angles, stay behind his jab and everything. Just staying smart and landing his own bombs, but in a tighter way, like he's used to.
So Abdullah Mason, right? Great timing, great pivots. He did get dropped twice, though. Who was it? Johan Vasquez got dropped twice. Came back, with the KO.
Yeah.
His IQ at this point is in question. All right, so. Give me a prediction. Like, give me an overall prediction on what you see in the fight happening. Who winning?
I see Noakes opening up just a little too much. I don't know if he's tight enough. Maybe it's something he's working on for this camp. But I still see Mason. Mason's going to be too sharp, too strong, too fast, and his timing's going to be on point. Like you said, those angles and pivots. And Mason's got that ring IQ. So, and he's showing the grit where if he does get dropped, he can still get back up, and he's still going to try to hurt you and take over. So I'm still leaning Mason in this one.
Wow. What can Noakes do to pull it off then?
Just you have nothing to lose, you go for it and try to land that big shot because he's a power puncher and that's going to be his biggest chance in this fight is to land that, earn his respect early, and show Mason that he's here to get that victory.
Nice. Hey, so let's jump into the next topic. TV networks. Right? I want to talk a little bit about TV. Like where do you watch? Where do you watch fights? Right?
These days,
because right now the question's been with a lot of fans. Well, I don't know where to watch it. I hear it from boxing fans, even boxing fans, right? Let alone the general public. But where do I watch it? Why does it change? Well, I mean, what happened to Showtime? What happened to HBO? Right? We used to be able to watch it on ESPN. Right? There's so much change in the landscape in boxing, right? And everything's moving towards streaming. Like, where do you watch the fights?
Now it's we've really made that move onto streaming, ESPN is out, Showtime was out, and HBO's been out, for years now, but there's pros and cons to it, like now people can get a little confused, especially like maybe the older people that don't mess with, the apps and the streaming and all that.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's pros and cons all around, but there's just more variety than ever, which can be a good thing. And like DAZN is a really big one right now. They have tons of fights and stuff.
No doubt. And then all the repeat. I mean, you can watch past fights, future fights. You don't have to be in front of the television at 8:00.
Yeah.
Right. You can watch that a little later when you get home or
that's one of the benefits now. Streaming services, you can go back and look, and so it just depends. And now instead of people were saying that the pay-per-view model is kind of going out the window, the old one anyway. but now you're paying for so many streaming services. Is it worth it? There's so many questions these days, but it's at least we're still getting great fights and everything, and that's all we can ask for. So as long as the fights are getting made, I'm tuning in.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, other networks, you have Pro Box. Have you seen any of the Pro Box?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Always tough matchups on Pro Box.
What do they call them? 50-50 fights,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. That one's a great one to watch. There's always like really hard matchups. You're not going in there, for just some quick tune-up. They're definitely gonna match you tough. So I'm always excited to watch those ones.
Yeah. So in regards to like the schedule, if you want to know what fights are coming up, where should someone go?
My first.
You
place,
can practically Google it.
Yeah.
Right? And get different sites that do. But where do you go?
There's Google, but I would just always check social media. Keep up with your favorite fighters, follow them, and even the promoters. The promoters are always trying to advertise and stuff. So social media is kind of the quickest way because like when you Google, sometimes you might get a few, but you can find like those main pages that'll be posting fights and stuff. Get your latest news. So social media today is king.
Great. Hey Brian, thanks again. Appreciate your time. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms on Boxing VIP Network. You can follow us you can watch us on YouTube as well. You can also go to the boxingvip.com website where we host a lot of the videos as well. Thank you again for watching. Brian, thank you.
Thank you.